This meeting is being recorded.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shrutismriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarajanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारस्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ प्रज्ञानां सुप्रदानैः स्थिरजरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगांस्तविष्टान् पुनरपि दिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि यो विश्वात्मा विविधविषयान् प्राश्य भोगांस्तविष्टान् पश्चाश्चान्यान् स्वमतिविभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेतान् पुनरपि शनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगणः पात्वसौ न स्तुरीयः ओमिति एतदक्षरम् इदं सर्वं तस्योपव्याख्यानं वेदान्तार्थसारसङ्ग्रहभूतम् इदं प्रकरणचतुष्टयम् ओमित्येतदक्षरम् इत्यादि आरभ्यते. The Upanishad starts with Om Etadaksharam Idam Sarvam. All that is cognized by you, Idam Sarvam, whether it is known, whether it is to be known, whether it is unknown, anything which is knowable, or even the ignorance and all the objects of knowledge, everything comes within the idam. Sarvam. Idam sarvam om. Ityetadaksharam. This akshara, which is omkara, is all that is here. Whatever is known to you by this cognition, by the cognition of this means that also is included. That is how the Vedanta starts, this Upanishad starts. And that Vedantas Arthasara Sangraha Bhutam, this Prakarana Chatushtayam. All these we saw. The four Prakaranas of Mandukya Karika are essence of what is expounded by the Vedanta. That is how Shankaracharya started the Bhashya. And we also saw what is the connection between the book and the prayojanam that we are seeking. The prayojanam that is sought, that is where the Anubandha Chatushtayam we spoke about. The prayojanam sought after is moksha. Liberation or freedom is what we are seeking. we don't intend to seek studying some book and gaining some knowledge. It's not like a Discovery Channel I am watching here. So just for passing away some time or just accumulate some knowledge is not what is the intent. The intent of the person who has come for the study is actually freedom, liberation, moksha. But what is the connection between the study and that moksha is the question which was answered. Shankaracharya said, the sambandha videya prayojanani pritak na vaktavyani. Gaudapada hasn't explicitly started his work by stating what is the prayojanam, what is the connection between this book and that prayojanam, who is the adhikari, all that Gaudapada hasn't said. Because he doesn't need to tell is what is Shankaracharya's defense. Pritak, because the prakarana, it is only Sara Sangraha Bhutam, that's the logic he says, he gives. It's only a abstraction of what is there in the Upanishad. So it doesn't need to cover everything. Yani eva tu vedante sambandha videya prayojanani tani eva iha bhavitu maranti. Whatever is considered the connection and the benefit and adhikari and all that within the Upanishad, they can be deemed to apply for the Mandukya Karika also. But he says, I will give you tatapi prakarana vachikyasuna samkshevataha vaktavyani. But I am commenting on the prakarana, so I need to do it in a at least a concise way. Why is he saying all this? Because the question will come, Mandukya Karika doesn't talk about it, Gaudapada hasn't given any sambandha prayojana. You are supposed to be only commenting on what he has written. You can't introduce something new by yourself. So when we are doing a translation, some politician is talking in Hindi and our guys here in Tamil Nadu will translate in Tamil. So now they can't add a few sentences by themselves saying that I will make it clearer for you. That's not correct. Whatever is spoken, irrespective of your own views on it, whether you agree to it or disagree or you think it needs little more color, it shouldn't matter. You are not supposed to talk over and above what has been spoken by the politician, correct? Here, that's why Bhashyakara he takes pain to explain why he has to do it. Because it is important. Ideally, he can't, because it's a sampradaya, Gaudapada is part of the parampara, so he can't say he's wrong. He defends him, but at the same time, he feels he needs to give that. Therefore, he says, I am actually adding the prayojana and all that. All that we saw in the last class, I think. Tatra prayojanavat sadhana abhivanchagatvena abhideya sambaddham shastram parambaryena visishta sambandha abhideya prayojanavat bhavati. This also we saw. So the shastram is abhideya sambaddham. It is connected to the abhideya, which is the object which is intended to be revealed. Whatever is the intended outcome of the shastra, it is bound to it through what? Prayojanavat sadhana abhivanchagatvena. So the shastra is prayojanavat. It is attached to the benefits. It holds a usefulness. What kind of usefulness? Whatever you are seeking. And it is the sadhanam for that. It is giving you the sadhanam, the means by which you can reach your goal. And that is the connection. So abhidana abhideya sambandham is the connection. So it is the revealing, the shastra reveals Brahman, which is the revealed object. and the knowledge of that Brahman itself is moksha. So that is the prayojanam. Moksha is the prayojanam. And the connection between moksha and the text is through Brahma Jnanam. So Brahma Jnanam is the palam, and that palam itself is moksha. And the connection between Brahma Jnanam and the book is Abhidhana Videyam. Okay, this one is revealing it, and Brahman is revealed. That is the Sambandha Videya Prayojanam, is what he has said. So here we saw this Brahmaiva Shastra Videyam Vishayaha. The Abhideya Vishaya, that which is to be revealed, is Brahman only. Tat Swarupa Pradipadanartham hi Shastram Pravrittam. So the Shastra is with a mission to reveal Brahma. Tat Pradipadanasya cha Prayojanam Adhikarini Brahma Vidya Jananam. And by revealing what is Brahman, the Adhikari, the qualified person, gains the Vidya, the knowledge of Brahman. तेन यद्यपि शास्त्रस्य अविधेयं ब्रह्मैव तेन च अस्य प्रतिपाद्य प्रतिपादक भावः सम्बन्धः. So that is the connection between the study and moksha is through the Brahma Vidya, is what was already said. Now let's move further. Kim punastat prayojanamiti uchyate rogartasyaiva roga nivrittau swasthatha तथा दुःखात्मकस्यात्मनः द्वैत प्रपंचोपशमे स्वस्थता द्वैत भाव प्रयोजनम्. द्वैत प्रपंचस्य अविद्याकृतत्वात् विद्यया तदुपशमः स्यात् इति ब्रह्म विद्या प्रकाशनाय अस्य आरम्भः क्रियते. He himself asks a question and answers it. What is that prayojanam? You have to understand it very clearly. You can say the prayojanam, the benefit is moksha. But what is that moksha? How does that happen? So he answers this. Rogartasya iva roga nivrittau swasthata yatha. Somebody is sick, infected with the coronavirus. So he is a rogartaha, struggling from roga, a disease. Now the disease is not his or her natural state, isn't it? It has just come. It is at this time possessing that person. Rogartaha, the person is suffering from a disease. The disease is on that person now. And swasthata, or the health, is the natural thing for a person. A person is naturally healthy, but is temporarily inflicted by a disease. Then what happens? Roga nivrittau swasthata. As the disease is removed, swasthata, the health, doesn't need to be added to the person. It is the natural thing. It's only the disease which came and inflicted. Otherwise, the person was normal. And the moment the disease is removed, the person is normal. So he says, Rogartasya roga nivrittau swasthata iva tatha, same way, dukkhatmakasya atmanaha dvaita prapanjopashame swasthata dvaita bhava prayojanam. So this dukkhatmakasya, the person's dukkha, atmanaha dvaita prapanchopashame swasthata, the dvaita that is being, the duality that is being experienced by this person, dvaita prapancha upashame. When the dvaita prapancha, the duality which is being experienced, this duality, when it is removed, then naturally the person's swasthata comes back, or prakashate. Advaita bhavaha prayojanam. The person gains the Advaita bhava, which is his or her natural state. Advaita, if it is true, should be his natural state. Then why is the person not seeing Advaita? Because there is a roga, a disease kind of thing here, which is Dvaita Prapancha, the duality, which is Avichara Siddham, which is there. Now the question you will, it's the disease and all is an example. You might ask the question here, disease comes, the person is healthy, swastha, and the disease happens in time. And then it gets removed later. Whereas in this case, the avidya, Dvaita Prapancha, did not come in time. It was not that I was having an Advaita Bhava first. I was already in Advaita, Brahma Jnanam. Then suddenly this Dvaita Prapancha came to me. No, I was always with the same experience of Dvaita only. So how can you give this example which is of the disease? So that is why the example is only to say that rogartaha roganivrittau swastata dukkhatmagasyatmanaha dvaita prapanchopashamane swastata. That's all. It is only about removal of something which is covering. It's not to say that disease, just like disease, dvaita prapancha also came in between in time. That is not, that portion of the example is not the tatparya here. So example, you have to understand in what context and what with what limited portion is what is applicable. Then he says, Dvaita prapanchasya avidya kritatvat vidyaya tadupashamasyat iti brahma vidya prakashanaya syarambah kriyate. Dvaita prapanchasya avidya kritatvat. He is making certain hypothesis here. Now these need to be substantiated, obviously. The first statement was just like Roga, the Dvaita Prapancha removal gives you Advaita Bhavaha. Okay? That means there is a preposition here, or there is a presupposition, whatever you want to call that, assumption here, which is the Dvaita Prapancha itself is superimposed on the Swastha Advaita Bhava. That's number one. Second, now he is making a statement, avidya kritatvat. This Dvaita Prapancha is due to your ignorance. Dvaita Prapancha means your duality experience. That is what is Dvaita Prapancha means. It's not a separate Prapancha or anything. In the same world of experience that you are undergoing, you are seeing a duality. All of us are seeing duality. But this duality experience itself is avidya kritam, is caused by an ignorance. Avidya kritatvat. Okay. Now, how do you say it is avidya kritam? He will answer in many ways. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava, all three have to be used. And the Pramanya Buddhi, everywhere we have to question what is the Pramanam, on what basis are you making this statement. So those have to be understood, asked and clarified. Then only you will gain that. We can't gloss over. Avidya kritam, okay, ignorance is there, that's all. Okay, how do you say that? So it looks, everything looks real. I am different, world is different, animals are different, everything tangibly different, no? Then how can you say it is due to ignorance? This has to be understood. There has to be so there are few ways of understanding. You have a window of experience called the dream. In the dream, when you are undergoing the dream, everything is real to you. Very tangible, right? But when you wake up, you say it is a dream. So just because at the time of experience it is tangible, doesn't make it true. Swakale Satyavad Bhati is going to say Karika Gara. At the time of experiencing it, it looks as though it is all real. until you gain the jnanam. And again, we are not saying this reality that you are seeing in the world will go away after you gain heaven or something. Here itself, once your jnanam takes place, whatever you are saying is tangibly real will become mithya. That once you gain the knowledge here and now, you will see. But before that, avidya kritatvat, what else is your means? One is knowing through the dream, that is yukti. Or even an example, it only substantiates saying that, yeah, possibility is there, correct? But what is the mean to know? The one other mean that we all as astikas, shruti vakya is there. See, this is what we have to understand. This is shruti vakya means what? Veda vakya, it's a faith only. To start with, you are believing it. Now, that is true with every pramana. Any means of knowledge, you have to employ the means of knowledge to see the results. The stock example that Puja Swamiji used to give is a story of a blind man. A blind man, born blind, is being operated. A new technology has come. Few people have got eyes through that. So this person also is going to be operated. So the doctor comes and tells him, you are lucky, you are the fifth person to be operated using this technology. This will give you eyesight. That person also, the blind man, is very happy. Then operation takes place, all good. Then doctor is happy, and then he is given some time for curing and all that. And then he is now going to open the stitch, the cloth around the eyes of the patient. And then the person says, doctor, please prove to me that I will be able to see when you open my eyes. Because I have been blind for so long. I am waiting for this moment because this is going to be the biggest event in my life, that I am going to see the world for the first time. But then I will not be able to stand the disappointment if I am not able to see. This is the state of the person. And the person tells this to the doctor. Can you please prove to me? The doctor, what can the doctor say? I have done 4 operations. All of them have seen. The success rate is 99%. In your case, all my studies are saying that we have undergone a good operation. Anything he can say. But is there any other way to prove? Can the doctor ask him to use the ears, use the mouth, or the skin to prove that the eyes can see? No. He can only say you have to open your eyes to prove the eyes are working. Because any pramana, means of knowledge, is an exclusive domain. Anadigatam, abaditam. It is not transgressed by some other means of knowledge. Then it's not a means of knowledge. If ears can also see, if nose can also see, then you can't say eyes are means of seeing. But for it to operate, you have to trust. You have to submit yourself to that means of knowledge so that it can operate. Same holds with the Shruti also. So avidya kritatvat. What is the pramana? Shruti is the pramana. Veda is the pramana. And Veda pramana, again, same like eyes. So then you will ask the question. Veda pramana can't be same as eyes or ears or nose. Veda pramana is a book. it has some text in it. How can you compare it with an eyes or ears or nose? Eyes give me pratyaksha pramana. I just see something. When I open, I see. I trust it. A book is written by somebody. It has some words. So it's a deliberate pramana. It is a matter of shraddha only to start with. However, the Vakyas have given jnanam to loads and loads of people. So it doesn't hurt to trust, believe in it, because it is not promising something which is afterlife. It is only giving you a vision. Using these Vakyas, this vision can be gained in this life. Therefore, you give a benefit of doubt because you have no other option anyway. If you need to know what is going on, Shruti is the only option available to us because it promises to show it here and now, and many have gained it using Shruti. It's not, you are not the first one to use it. So Shruti Vakyam Pramanam Yatra hi Dvaitam iva bhavati. This iva, it is as though dual. Brihadaranyaka says the duality is as though. Therefore, avidya kritam. He quotes a few more. Yatra va anyadiva syat tatra anyaha anyat pashyet. Again, iva. Iva means as though. Anya iva, anyadiva. It is as though different from you. Anything, if there is one thing different from you, means it's Dvaita Bhava. Correct? You don't have to say the whole world is different and all that. I am different and this cloth is different means Dvaita. Once the second thing has come, that means Dvaita Prabhanja is there. Therefore, Anyat, the word means a second thing. Anyat ivasya, there is no Anyat. Everything is Ananyat only. Anyo Anyat Vijaniyat. That's also Brihadaranyaka. Yatra tvasya sarvatmaya sarvam atmaiva bhut tat kena kam pashyet kena kam vijaniyat. For the one, everything, when everything has become Atma, known to be Atma, cognized as Atma, then what is there as an instrument of seeing, instrument of knowing and all that? There is no knower, known, knowledge, Triputi. The triad, or what is it called? The trident. Okay. The knower, known and knowledge. That is Dvaitam. The moment I say I am the knower and there is an object of knowledge for me, whether it is seen or heard or sensed or experienced, that means there is Dvaita Bhavam. So here, Kena kim vijaniyat, Kena kam vijaniyat, kam pashyet. There is no knower, known, experienced. Ityadi shrutibhyaha asyartasya siddhihi. The artha siddhi is there of what? Avidya kritatvam. It is all due to ignorance. Veda comes and shows it is ignorance. There is the prakriya to show that it is your ignorance that you are seeing that there is a second thing. Because you don't know what is the thing here. The thing that is called vastu. I think I showed in the slide earlier. There is only one vastu. Everything else is avastu. And once you know that vastu, then there is no dvaita prabhanja. Therefore, it is avidya kritatvam is there. Then what is the solution? Vidyaya upashamaha. The moment you say it is avidya kritam, ignorance is the cause of it, then how does it go away? It goes away only through knowledge. Vidyaya upashamaha. It settles down. Till then it is samsara, turbulence, running behind things, always craving for experiences, because there is an inherent unhappiness. Whether masala dosa will give me happiness or malai kofta will give me happiness or watching a movie will give me happiness. All this, give me 1 second, there's some sound here. That craving for experiences, that is samsara. And tasya upashamaha, it settles when vidyaya, when the knowledge takes place. Then what happens? Dvaita prapanchopashamaha, the duality experience, the experience doesn't go away, the sense of duality in your experiences, when it goes away, then moksha is there. Iti brahma vidya prakashanaya asya arambaha kriyate. Therefore vidya is the solution. It's very important to understand this. There is nothing to be done. It is praptasya praptihi, na apraptasya prapti. It is already gained to be again gained. You don't have to do or create something. The moment you say it is to be gained through vidya, through knowledge, that means it's already there. It's not you get the knowledge and then you have to do something to gain it. Or you don't have to go to a place, heaven. No. Because heaven, knowledge doesn't give you heaven. If it was heaven that the Shastra is talking about, then you can't say vidyaya upashamaha. You have to say vidyaya tadanantaram karmana. After that you have to do karma. It has to say that. But here, when there is jnanam, then itself moksha takes place. That's how he introduces. There are some interesting points that the Tikakara, we can bring up. We can read that. Prayojanavat sadhana vivyanjagatvena videya sambaddham shastram sambandha videya prayojanavadidi uktam adastat tatra kidrisham prayojanam katam cha brahma vidya tat sadhanam kaya cha pranalikaya shastram sadhana vivyanjagatvena videya bhuta brahma sambaddhamiti atra kechidahu. There are some contrary points he is bringing up. Prayojanam asmat sharirat samuthaya paranjyoti rupa sampad rupam sampadya swena rupena abhinishpattihi tatcha upasana rupa brahma vidya sadhanam. Some people say that it is a upasana angam. This whole brahma vidya is for doing meditation. Some other upasana. So you have think that Om is everything, because this thing is going to talk about Omkara, Idagam Sarvam. So you contemplate so that you can go out as a Jyoti Rupa from this body, like that. Some people say Vigalis Anye Punarahu Vigalita Sarvadvaita Brahmatma Surupena Ihaiva Avastanam Prayojanam Tasya Vedanta Vakya Janya Jnana Abhyasa Prapta Sakshatkara Rupaiva Brahma Vidya Sadhanam Brahma Surupa Pratibadana Matrena to Shastra Videya Sambaddham Sat Sakshatkara Rupa Vidya Dwarena Moksha Prayojanam प्रयोजनवदिति उपचर्यते इति सन्त्यपरेऽपि वादिनः अधुनातना ये ध्यानरूपविद्यासाध्यं देहपातनान्तरभाविमोक्षं प्रयोजनम् अभ्युपयन्ति. So there are many types of dhyana sadhanatvam attributed to this Omkara Vidya. But in general, all of them say that dehapatananandara bhavi moksham. After the body falls, you will gain moksha. Any upasana akrama, the moment it is, see, upasana has multiple benefits. Upasana is told by Veda itself. Vedanta itself talks about many upasanas. Only this Upanishad doesn't talk about upasanas. Chandogya, Brihadaranyaka, even Taittiriya, all of them have upasanas. Like meditation. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, Guruji.
Hello?
Good.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. Some problem with my connection. Okay. So there are many Dehapatananantara bhavi moksham. There are many schools which consider this as an upasana and then say that after the body has fallen, you will gain some kind of a moksha. Taistu brahma vyatiriktena eva svena rupena abhinishpattihi prayojanattvena svikrita krita iti visheshaha satsu api evamadishu bahushu vipratipatti भेदेषु सर्वेषामपि एतेषां समानमेतद् यत् साधनकार्यत्व स्वीकरणं प्रयोजनस्य तथा च मोक्षस्य अनित्यत्व प्रसंगः. That kind of a moksha which is gained in time after the body falls is not a nitya moksha, because anything which starts in time has to end in time, and that is not the kind of moksha that Shruti is talking about. Because the question will be, both are Shraddha. To start with, this moksha, which is nitya moksha that we are talking about, is also a Shraddha and Shruti, because Shruti is saying, we are looking at it, after death you will gain moksha, is also a Shraddha. Now, which Shraddha should I take? The answer can only be, because in this case, when we are saying it is you are Nitya Mukta, it is verifiable when you are living. So there is no, it doesn't remain as a faith until you die. Whereas in the other case, it remains so. Also, it is contradicting Shruti because your Pramana is only Shruti here. When you are talking about this Upasana, you are accepting Shruti Pramanyam. If you are accepting Shruti Pramanyam, you have to accept it in total. You can't partially accept something and say it is Pramana for me. Therefore, many places Shruti talks about the Nitya Moksha. Therefore, your thing of say, so he says this Purvapakshi saying this Upasana is untenable. Okay, Ata Kidrishamatra Prayojanavate Sadhana Bhivanjagatvam Avipretya Shastrasya Sambandhadimatvam Anite iti Rogarthasya Roganavritto Swastata Dukkatmagasyatmanaha Dvaita Prapanchopashame Swastata Advaita Bhava Prayojanam. So he quotes Bhashyakara. Now he gives some explanation also. Dhatu Vaishamyameva Khalu Roga Nama. The Roga disease means what? It is a destabilization of the dhatus. It's like our homeopathy. Okay, the elements are disturbed. All your minerals in your body are disturbed. That disturbance is rogaha. Now, when you give a counteracting minerals, then it settles it down. Tad abhibhutam cha swastyam swabhava bhutameva satchikitsataya chikitsaya vaishamyopashame satya sati upashame sati abhivinjate iti chikitsa sadhyam iti uchyate loke. He says swastham, the health is natural thing for everybody. So when the Vaishamyam, when whatever disturbance of minerals has happened in your body, if it is taken care of, then your natural health returns. Evam iha api vimukshoho svabhuta eva swastata swatmani avasthana rupa brahma vidyaya dvaita prapanchopashame sati abhivenjate iti vidyasadhya iti vyapadishyate. Therefore, your Atma Vastu also is Swaprakashameva. It is self-illuminant. Your Atma Jnanam, you are aware of your Atma. That's why you can say, I am so and so. It's only, that's why we say it is not totally unknown. It is known. It is, but there is some confusion. So there is some superimpositions. Sovanadhyasa, there is some adhyasa. There is lack of clarity in terms of what exactly I am. Therefore, it is a known vastu. Whatever is the confusing element, when it is removed, that's what he says. Iha api mumukshoho swabhava bhuta eva swastada. Your natural thing is your Atma Jnanam. Now, anyata swatmani avasthana rupa brahma vidyaya dvaita prapanchopashame sati abhivinjate. That Swarupa automatically lights up when Brahma Vidya happens. Iyamsu Visheshaha Chikitsa Dravyam. One difference is that, is what he says, between the example and the exemplified. Okay. What is it? Chikitsa Dravyam Sotpatti Vitirekena api Vyaparantaram apekshate Dhatu Vaishamyopashamanaya. So, in the case of healing, it happens in multiple steps. Okay, that is, you have to give medicine, then you have to have some food limitations, and then the person takes some time. All that is there. Whereas in this case, Brahma Vidya tu Swotpatti Matrena Dvaita Prapanchopashamam Kartum Alam. It is once that Vidya takes place, in the case of Brahma Vidya, you don't need anything else. It itself takes care of everything. In fact, the race of Vidya itself is moksha. It's like removing the darkness. You don't have to do. Light has come, automatically the darkness is gone. And they happen at the same time, right? It's not that light comes and then darkness go away. No. Similarly, when Vidya has happened, that Kshanam itself is moksha. Tavan matrena advaita bhava swastada prayojanam lapsyate iti. Kadametad iti uchyate dvaita prapanchasya vidyagratatvad vidyaya tadupashamasyad. Advaita Bhava Rupa hi Swasada Nitya Prapta Mumukshoho Swabhavaha eva. It is Nitya Prapta only. This Advaita Bhavam that is there, always there, whether you know it or not, it is there. There is no Kalantara, you have to know, that's all. Okay. That there is a question. Sacha Vidya na Vastu Sati napi agantuki yena kayachit pratikriyaya upashamaniya bhavet vidyotpatti samakalameva tu upashamyati sa sakarya pratiti matra shariratvat pradipa prakashotpatti samakalamiva tamaha. Whatever I said only says pratiti matra shariram only. So this ignorance it is only an illumination. The Swarupa also is illuminating. Ignorance also is absence of the pratiti. Your pratiti is covered. Therefore, pratipa prakashotpatti samakalameva tamaha yata. Like as soon as the light is there, the darkness goes. Samakalam. Not even as soon. At the time of lighting, the ignorance, the darkness goes. Similarly, at the time of jnanam, ignorance is already gone. They are both meaning the same thing, no? Ignorance goes away, knowledge comes, means these are not sequential things. They actually both mean the same. Tadevam dvaita prapanchasya avidyakratatvat vidyaya tad upashamaha upapattihi iti brahma vidya prakashnayasya shastrasya prarambha kriyate. That is why you need the Shastra, because moksha is what the Shastra is going to give you. Tena ekartatvat. Then the people will ask, this is all bookish knowledge. We have to get anubhuti. Anubhuti means people translate it as anubhava. And then they say that we need to get Brahma anubhava. So they all, after reading this book will give you only so much. Like that and all you will hear. People who haven't gained this jnanam will mislead by these kind of statements. They'll say book will take you only so far. You can only take the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. Like that, the book will take you so far, and then you have to sit in meditation and the Brahma Anubhava has to come. Or some people will say the Anubhava has to be brought into life. He is not just to see, that is all okay. With some Panditas, you can see that. Today also, people study all this Tarka, Nyaya, Vaiseshika and all that. They also study Vedanta. And then they'll do this, all this. You can see people, no, who study Vedanta as an academic subject. And then they will talk, they'll give, they make arguments and this and that. This Avachinnatvam, all that, right? The Tarkika, Nyaya and all that they talk. See, that means they are not, they are not pursuing it for Atma Jnanam. They are academic pursuits. There are people who study Vedanta as an academic pursuit. But here we are talking about mumukshu. People who are doing it they may be jignasu, but not mumukshu. That jignasa is just a vidya. They are vidyarthis or vidwans who have understood this as a subject. But for them still Brahma is paroksham only. They have words, but not the jnanam. For that people we can say, it doesn't take you, they don't have. But still, we can't say it is anubhava siddham, because every anubhava, pratibodha viditam matam, in every cognition, in every anubhava, what is the substance is Brahma. So you don't need one particular experience to show what is Brahman. The current experience that you are sitting and listening to this Vedanta itself is good enough to see what is Brahman. You don't need any special experience. Some Nirvikalpa Samadhi is not needed. It's not mandatory. In fact, all the Samadhi and all is short-lived. it is good as a practice to have all those, but you can't wait for a nirvikalpa samadhi for jnanam because there is no apeksha. You don't need a particular anubhava. Therefore, when the jnanam takes place is moksha. Because it falsifies the ego, the individuality, the duality. Dvaita prapancha upashama has taken place already. There is no individual here. That individual itself is falsified. What is there is only Brahman, is recognized. And Brahman alone remains. So who is this person who is going to seek an experience? There is no person at all. Etena Vedanta na anartakaha japa upayogitvena eva sartakava. So the Vedanta, you can't say it is useless or it is useful only for japa, for doing some dhyana and all that. There is a direct benefit, phala, which is the vision of non-duality, which only Vedanta can give. Again, because it's a pramana, like your eyes alone can make you see. It is the Vedanta only which can give you the Brahma Jnanam. There is no other multiple paths and all that. It is not Karya Siddha. Last time I spoke about this and somebody asked this question. Jnanam Vastu Tantram, Karyam Kartu Tantram. The choice of action is with you. Kartum Akartum Anyata Va Kartum Shakyam. We can do, we need not do, or we do different thing or in a different way. That is jnanam. I will read that question just so that I answer what was specifically asked. I understood that with karma one has independence to do, and that independence is with the karta. Whereas for jnana there is no such independence and it only depends on vastu. If my understanding is correct, is knowing not an action? Okay, knowing is not an action. When we say an action, after knowing something, you act on it, right? For example, Veda tells you, for Swarga Kamo Yajeta, the person who wants to gain Swarga, may that person do this Vajpaya Yajna, Ashwamedha Yajna, whatever. Now that is a jnana. Shruti has told we have gained that knowledge. Now you have to act. So just because you have known this doesn't give you the benefit of gaining the Swarga. Now the person can do the yajna or does not do the yajna or does instead of Vadapeya some Somayaga. So kartum akartum anyata va kartum shakyam. No, knowledge is not an action because whether you want it or not, certain knowledge takes place. You don't act. You open your eyes, you already see what is there in front of you. That's a knowledge. Now, opening the eyelid, you can call it as a karma. But let's say nose. You smell something. That's a knowledge. So it is true to the object of knowledge. It doesn't depend on you. If a flower is fragrant, it is fragrant. If a house is stinking, it is stinking. Because the knowledge is true to the object of knowledge. It doesn't need your permission. You don't want a dustbin to stink, for example. It doesn't take your permission. If it stinks, it stinks. That's all. That's why we say jnanam vastu tantram. It is dependent on the vastu itself. That's it. So if the Brahman is sarvavyapi, Brahman is sarvavyapi. If Maya is sadasadhyam anirvachaniyam, it is sadasadhyam anirvachaniyam. That is how it is. Your logic doesn't interfere there. Your individuality doesn't interfere there. It has to be known as it is. That is what we mean. Shastra means, when we say we, I am talking from the Sampradaya perspective. Now, Karmopasana Vakya Jnanabhyasadi Vidiparaha Kintu Brahma Vidya Prakashanena Avidya Kalpita Dvaita Prapancham Pravilapya Samsara Dukkha Vyavritti Vitsunam Jivanam Swabhavikim Swastam Vijnapayantaha Tataha Eva Paramapurushartha Sadakaha Iti Uktam Bhavati. Okay. Now, Nanu, another question he raises. Because this is some, I am taking this because he is quoting a few additional things. He also brings in some points of view which is useful for us. Nanu avidya kritameva dvaita prapancha nimittam dukkam atmanaha swastada rupam tu sarva dukkha asambhinnam niratisaya sukham vidyaya dvaita prapanchopashamena iti etasya arthasya siddhihi kutah pramanat iti chet. On what basis are you saying? We asked that question, no? He is asking the same thing. You are saying Dvaita Prapancham is Dukkatmam. I also agree. But it is Avidya Kritameva, it is due to ignorance only. What is the Pramana by which you are saying that? That is where he is giving the quotes. This Tikakara has given some good long quotes. Yatra hi Dvaitam eva bhavati taditara itaram Pashyati taditara itaram jigrati taditara itaragum rasayate taditara itaram abhivadati taditara itaragum shunoti taditara itaram manute taditara itaragum sprishati taditara itaram vijanati. Acharya quoted only yatra hi dvaitam eva bhavati, but the full quote is one sees the other, one smells the other, one tastes the other, one hears the other, one touches the other. So all kinds of sensory things he includes. Iti Maitreyi Yajnavalkya Samvade. Maitreya and Yajnavalkya are having a discussion. In that it comes. All this, your experience, sensory experiences are as though. It is not true. Yatra va anyadiva syad, tatra anyaha anyat pashyet, anyaha anyat jigret, anyaha anyat rasayet, anyaha anyat padet, anyaha anyat shunyat, anyaha anyam anvita, anyaha anyat sprishet, anyaha anyat vijaniyat. Similarly, the same yasya anyadiva syad also has few more, again based on touch, smell and all that. Iti cha janaka yajnavalkya samvade dvaitam iva anyadiva iti iva sabdabhyam dvaitasya anatmanaha kevalam abhasamatra shariratvam uktam iti tasya avidyagratatvam shruti sammatam iti gamyate. So Veda says that. So that is a starting point. It says it is as though. Now it doesn't stop there. It goes on to show how it is only as though, because it says Tattvamasi. Here, Vidya Avastayam Sarvam, he himself says this. Iti Shrutya, what Shruti? Yatra tu asya sarvatma, sarvam atmaiva bhut. For the one, everything when it has become Atma, then what? Kena kam pasyet, kena kam jigret, kena kam rasayet, kena kam abhivadet, kena kam shunyat, kena kam manvita, kena kam sprishet, kena kam vijaniyat. Once a person has gained Atma, then where is the instrument of seeing? Where is the thing to be seen? Where is the seer? Iti Shrutyaja yatra vidyavastayam sarvam drashtu drishya drishtyadi triputi jatam atmatmena eva viditam bhavati. All this seen, seer and the seeing, once at the dawn of the knowledge, atmatvena eva viditam bhavati. Everything is recognized, cognized to be the Atma. Tatra darshanadi vyavaharaha naiva vidyate. There is no vyavahara. There is no truth in the vyavahara that I am seeing. That person also sees, a jnani also sees that there is a bus coming in front. Otherwise, he will have an accident, right? So when somebody crosses the road, you can't say, I am a jnani, I don't see the bus coming. That's not the point. The truth of the reality of duality is seen to be Brahman only. Iti uktam iti vidyaya dvaita prapanchopashame ityapi shruti sammatam iti gamyate. Yatacha dvaitasya avidya kalpitatvam advaitatvam cha atmana swabhavaha tata atra upanishad vivrittau karika vivrittau cha anubhavarudham rudatvam gamayishyamaha. We will see this in the Upanishad as well as Karika Vritti that I am doing is what Tikakara is actually saying. And then Shankaracharya, we will just quickly glance and then stop. Tatra tavad omkara nirnayaya pratamam prakaranam agama pradhanam atmadattva pratipatyupaya bhutam yasya dvaita prapanchasya upashame advaita pratipattihi rajvamiva sarpadi vikalpopashame rajjudattva pratipattihi tasya dvaitasya hetu tadaha वैदत्य प्रतिपादनाय द्वितीयं प्रकरणं तथा अद्वैतस्यापि वैदत्य प्रसंगाप्तौ असंगप्राप्तौ विक्तितः तथात्मदर्शनाय तृतीयं प्रकरणं अद्वैतस्य तथात्व प्रतिपत्ति प्रतिपक्षभूतानि यानि वादान्तराणि अवैदिकानि सन्ति तेषाम् अन्योन्य विरोधित्वात् अतथार्थत्वेन तदुपपत्ति विरेव निराकरणाय चतुर्थं प्रकरणं. He introduces why these four prakaranās. The first prakarana is to establish the Omkara. It is called Agama Prakaranam because it is Atmadattva Pratipatti Upaya Bhutam. It establishes what is Atmadattva. And then the second chapter is Rajvamiva Sarpadi Vikalpopashame Rajyadattva Pratipattihi. Once you see the rope as rope, then you won't see snake. Then you won't see a rod. It's all superimposed on the rope. So, making you see the rope is the second prakaranam, dvaitasya. Then advaitam, vaidatya prasanga praptau, yuktitaha. So, just because rope also is it true or not, question will come. Therefore, to understand the rope, which is the swarupa, is the advaita. And finally, there are other schools of thought which you can't establish or dismiss using Veda. So that the fourth chapter is about showing the fallacies of other schools of thought purely by logic. That is the fourth chapter. The first three chapters are purely based on Shruti. The final one is purely based on logic because the people addressed there are Vainashikas and Bauddhas and all that. Therefore, Gaudapada uses logic to dismiss them because anyonya virodhitvat, each are mutually contradictory. One school dismisses the other. So I don't need to come in. You fight and then you resolve. And since you both are killing each other, then I have nothing to fight there, is what he says. So that is how he introduces. We will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.